Hello, what's up? What's happening? Ooh, my hair looks kind of a little bit messed up, but this isn't about my hair or how I look. This is actually about social media content, short form content like TikTok, Instagram Reels, decreasing attention span amongst young people. Apparently, attention spans are decreasing day by day. I don't even know how, but that and the impact of these two on public discourse. I know a lot of stuff, complicated stuff, but let's see if you can watch this until the end and stick around until the end. That's the kind of whole point of this, alright? And if you think this video is too long, then maybe adjust your playback speed a little bit. Watch this on 2x. I watch everything on 2x. Helps me get through stuff, alright? But stick around. Please tell me, why does everyone want everything so quickly these days? Like everything, right? From cabs, grocery stores, like clothes, food, in fact, even with dating, with the entire dating apps thingy, right? I love my generation's need for speed, and I love the fact that some things reach us so quickly than they did yesterday. I like that I can go onto YouTube and look at a course or like read something super quickly and understand something rather than spend money the old conventional way in learning stuff, right? But at the same time, I'm starting to wonder if all of this has started to impact the way we think and the way we look at the world around us, particularly with like serious decisions. Because with short form content, I don't know if it's the answer to all the solution, like all the problems. Because I was recently talking to this founder, and then he goes, Ashwarya, I'm building this amazing SaaS product, and it's an upgrade to the last SaaS product that we built, as in software as a service. And he goes on to explain the product for the next 30 minutes straight up. And at the end of it, he goes, I want to explain this to my audience in less than 40 seconds. I remember the look on the marketing person's face on their team, and she was thinking, how am I supposed to unpack something like this, as complicated as a SaaS, in less than 40 seconds and ensure it is engaging and ensure it hits the right boxes, right? That's the kind of stuff that marketers have to deal with, at least social media marketers, because attention spans apparently are decreasing and nothing longer than 40 seconds in terms of content works. But when you ask people in terms of why it doesn't work, the common theory or analogy that people come up with is that, oh, it's because of GenZ's or Zillennials. They can't pay attention to long format content. Their attention spans are decreasing day by day. Therefore, it won't work well with them. And I'm like, no, don't blame this on us. This is not our fault. This is not the Gen Z's or Zillennials. We didn't randomly wake up one day and we are like, oh, I'm going to shoot a TikTok video for less than 60 seconds. Or like, I'm going to make a reel which is less than 60 seconds. It was the platform's decisions. They introduced a product. We rolled with it because we have a lot of people, of course, played by the platform's rules. And of course, they got engagement because you were playing by the platform's rules, and things just went on after that. So it is not necessarily our call or our decision. And I don't think that our attention spans are decreasing, all right? I have a lot of friends who will sit on the couch at 9 a.m. in the morning and they'll leave the couch only at 5 p.m. in the evening after they've finished like an entire series, all right? So we can commit to content. And there are a lot of creators or content creators who create long format content. I remember there was this lady who went viral on TikTok because she started making videos of these things where she was talking about how her husband didn't turn out to be the man who she thought he was, right? So there are people who play with long format content, and they're consumers of such content too, which includes a lot of young people. 2 weeks ago, I watched this video, which was a podcast. Don't judge me for it. But it was essentially talking about how sleeping or like wrong sleeping postures affect our backbone structures, and how we ought to correct them while we are sleeping. I don't know how that entire thing is supposed to work, but it was interesting, I thought. So we can commit to long format content, even if we can't necessarily commit to relationships or like passions or hobbies. Let's not get there, but it is what it is, all right? It's a different topic altogether. But we can commit to content provided you pique our interest, provided you make us curious and you make it engaging for us, all right? But I don't know if this is the right way to look at least political discourse. Because last 3 weeks, let's look at some of the major events that happened. Apart from the fact that India won the World Cup, which was so cool, there were the US presidential election debates and UK election results came out. Now, I don't know how many people watched the presidential debate or even think it is important. I know a lot of young people think that it was just two old people talking to each other about stuff, right? And it was majority of the case, they were just talking to each other. But at the end of the day, this was important because numbers matter, and this was world's largest economy heading into the election year. And what they rebut each other on, or what the sentiment is, dictates a lot of things in the next coming few years, right? But we didn't necessarily gain access to like quality critical content. All that we saw were funny videos of when Biden looks like he's almost snoozing off, or when Trump looks like he's really saying funky stuff. So as a young generation, we've stopped holding politicians accountable for things that they do in real life. We only judge them for their social media savviness or their social media presence. Does that mean that there are some leaders who actually do good work IRL and we don't necessarily get a window into it? Maybe. Is this the right way to go with political decision making? I don't know, honestly. Forget about politics, right? Let's look at what's happening with business. There are a lot of founders these days, and I've realized there are two kinds of founders essentially when it comes to social media marketing. One are the type that are excited about marketing in general, and they like to move with the pace, and they want to test out different things irrespective of the generation that they were born in. It just so happens that a lot of young founders are excited about social media and they understand the importance, but at the same time, in their need to go viral, they can commit to a lot of things, and sometimes it can backfire, but it's all right because they learn openly and they share openly and stuff like that. At the same time, there's the second kind of founders, again, irrespective of the generation that they were born in. They suffer with social media platforms. They want to completely stay away from it because they don't understand it, and they look at it like it's as if it's some beast, or right? I remember this one businessman, Mr. Narayan Murthy, was the co-founder of Infosys, which is India's second largest IT platform, got into trouble, I think sometime at the end of the last year or earlier this year. He appeared on a podcast and he made the mistake of saying that young people, if they want to achieve something worthwhile with their life, they've got to work more than 40 hours in order to drive economic development. Now, someone smart knew that this is going to be a hot topic with like GenZ's or Zillennials. They snapped out that part from the entire bit and put it up on social media platforms, and boom, it blew up, right? They almost cancelled him, like he almost got cancelled. While his other half, which is Mrs. Sudha Murthy, she keeps going viral and she keeps appealing to the young people for all the right reasons. He almost got cancelled for what he said. And a lot of young people were like, how is he saying this? Work-life balance, da da da. And I'm like, cool. I get work-life balance. I don't think we need to burn midnight oil to get stuff these days. You can do things smartly. But at the same time, did anyone necessarily watch the entire thing? What was he trying to say? Because if you watch the interview, he talks about his entrepreneurial journey, or he talks about how back in the day he had to wait for days to access one computer. Now imagine waiting for something as basic as a computer and then building an IT firm out of it, right? That's like pure hard work and pure hustle. And so you will realize that the man comes from a different generation. He comes from a different time, and therefore he has different ideas altogether. So you've missed this entire cycle of looking at someone critically, picking up their ideas, learning from it, but you've jumped straight up to conclusion basis what you've seen just of that 30-second video that in which he said some wrong things, you know? So that kind of stuff, it's kind of a little bit troublesome, or like at least worrisome, I think. Don't know what it does to our patience levels. But forget about business or like politics and serious stuff. Let's talk about music. I don't know, I go to dance classes these days and nobody covers a 2-minute routine. No one does. At the max, you cover a 60-minute routine. And why? Because those are the bits of most popular songs that can help you go viral on like with reels and stuff. So we've as a generation somewhere stopped even appreciating music in its entirety. So it's kind of interesting to watch these things and learn from these things. Is it the right way? I don't know. But do we need to be cautious about these things? Maybe, a little bit at least when it comes to important stuff, right? I was trying to wonder whose fault the entire thing is. I don't think it's our fault, like we didn't decide this, right? Maybe somewhere platforms are responsible, because I'll tell you what I think about this, okay? Don't judge me for it. But I feel like there was not enough diversity in the product teams that were designing like TikTok or Instagram Reels, man. Because clearly, if there were women on the team, they would clearly put a stop to this entire thing. Because there's no way a woman is going to be like, I'm going to be done talking in less than 30 seconds. We know what it is like to be rushed. Look at me. I spoke for 10 minutes straight up, all right? I'm not saying that women talk a lot. I'm not generalizing here. I mean, I've spoken for 10 minutes straight up, but... And it's kind of nice that women talk a lot. We don't keep stuff in our heart, right? It puts us lesser at a risk for heart attacks and stuff like that. You know how do I know this? I watched an entire podcast, which was by a man, and he was talking about human evolution, network, and gender, and men and women, and stuff like that. But see, another example of long format content and committing to long format content. But I'm digressing. Anyways, the point is, we do watch long format content. And I think if you're a young person watching this video, please pay attention to your attention span and try to commit to something, even if it's content or like passion or hobby, and drive it up. And don't let others sort of trick you into short form content. Okay? Yeah, I hope you watched this thing until the end, and I hope you survived. 2x me, but don't skip this. I'll see you again. Bye bye. Take care.